Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Wednesday, August the 31st, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined again by the one and only, the most popular DFS female provider in the United States of America, Miss Deb Lutz. Deb, how are you?
Hey, doing good. Yeah, we had a chat this morning. I was like, hey, what other women are doing, three sports on DFS podcasts? I want to see who my competition is.
I don't think there's much out there. I think you have that space cornered.
I got it wrapped up. Huh?
No doubt.
Hopefully we can provide a little different perspective.
Yes, and that's what we always try to do here at Coach Talk, no doubt about it. And we've also launched with Boom Fantasy. Man, I am so excited about that. So our podcasts are going to be presented by Boom Fantasy, and all of the information will go up tonight. We'll have that on our website, on our Discord, on Twitter, TikTok, you name it. It's all of the Boom Fantasy stuff is going to go up. And the awesome part about that is it's going to be 100% match play for Boom Fantasy for your deposit. Also, we're going to have some giveaways starting tomorrow on our podcasts for free tickets to play on Boom Fantasy. And you'll be able, we'll go over a little bit of it tomorrow, specifically on that podcast, and show a whole bunch of those plays, all of the different options you have to play there. So it's going to be a terrific thing. We're very, very excited about it, and we'll have more to come with that on tomorrow's podcast for sure.
So fired up. I am so fired up about Boom. Yeah, I cannot wait. PrizePicks has been fun, but it sounds like Boom has so many other options in terms of ways you can play, and sounds like they've got a big organization and a lot of marketing behind them. So I think they're going to become a new fixture in the props area, and I personally, I love the props bets. I know boy from Cali, he's been racking up the dough on the props bets. So
we have a lot of success there, and we've been giving out some of those plays every day, and we'll continue to do that. And like you said, I think Boom Fantasy is just going to take this entire space really by storm. I mean, they have a fantastic looking app that you can download on your phone. So start checking it out. Boom Fantasy. We'll give you the links and everything on our website and in Discord and in here tomorrow. But we want to give everybody a chance to get involved with that, get signed up, and get used to it and comfortable with it. So when football starts here very shortly, you'll have a great tool for any of your prop plays, or like I said, there's so many things. It's amazing. So we're very excited about that partnership. And hello to everybody in chat this morning. Hopefully some of you played a lot of our guys that we talked about on the podcast yesterday. We had a really fantastic night here at Coach Talk. Full sweep on DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo. Some big takedowns on Fanduel especially. So I hope everybody jumped on. My two pitchers both stepped up last night. I was really fired up about that. They got it done. And then we had some clutch hitting as well. So Gaussman and who was my other pitcher? Gaussman and how quickly I forget. I'm studying this one so much I couldn't remember. I can't remember who my other anybody in who else played my lineup in chat. Let me know who was my other pitcher. Why am I drawing a blank in my brain? Because they were both terrific.
I didn't play DK last night, so I'm blanking also. We can look it up though.
Yeah, because I played
Gaussman was awesome.
Yeah, but he wasn't even my key Fanduel guy. It was the other guy. And Snell, Blake Snell.
Snell, right.
Yeah, it was Snell and Gaussman that got it done. And then just some really clutch hitting, very fired up. So definitely want to see any winners that you all had in here. Good morning, JT, boy from Cali. How's it going? Absolute power. Yeah, Queen Deb is in the house. We know that. And speaking of in the house, Deb, I know We tease you about your lakefront property home behind you, but we know that's just a fake background. But congratulations. I guess you're just about moving into that new house.
Next week's the reveal. We'll give the big reveal, but I need my, I got to dig through all the boxes and find my sports memorabilia for my backdrop. But yeah, okay. Next week will be the reveal.
Oh, wow. That's going to be exciting. Very nice. We'll look forward to seeing that. Hello, Rodney. How are you today? Let's see. Sean V giving Deb a shout out. Appreciate that. Josh Staghorn 68. What's up, my man? Let's see. Josh, what else? Who else is in here? King of Spac. I love it. What about that Keller call I gave? He did good. Yes, he did. Very nice call, man.
See who you like today, King of Smack.
Yeah, today's an interesting one for sure. Interesting slate too. We have 6 early games. We'll touch on those when we break down all the games, but we're focusing all of our main picks on a really solid 9-game main slate tonight with some couple of incredible buy-up pitchers. So very, very good breakdown today to get everybody set up to win. Again, hope everybody really cashed in yesterday. We love when we have these big days. And, just real quickly want to mention, and we talked a little bit about it, this in here, and then we'll dive into the full schedule here is, at Coach Talk, we really pride ourselves on being different. We want to be that niche spot for the real DFS players. Very, very, very few, maybe 1 out of 100 are big time playing 25 grand a night, 150 max entry and everything they're doing. And a lot of the information that gets out there is basically geared for those players. And that's all great. You can use that information, but what about all the rest of us that play 2-3 lineups, maybe a single lineup on a night or 4 or 5 lineups, but a minimal amount. And you were trying to do it with contest selection and bankroll management. That's our differentiator. We feel that we really take all the information, all the statistical analysis that everybody uses, the crunchers, the optimizers, the percentages. And what we're looking to do is make that real for what we feel our target audience is. And that's the normal DFS player that's trying to make a good profit day to day, and they can sustain that growth throughout. And Deb and I have talked about that a lot recently because we've been tweaking how we're providing lineups in our Discord for our members and trying to make just everything perfect to exactly what everybody wants. So really hope everybody knows that and appreciates it. We want to keep you with us and grow this. And, with our partnership with Boom, we really think we're going to have a lot of growth here coming, but we will not forget everybody. We're going to mention everybody in chat. We're going to meet everybody one-on-one when they become a member. I mean, we're going to stand by our principles that started Coach Talk and that are going to continue to build Coach Talk. So just wanted to mention that, Deb. I know that's it in the forefront for you as well, as you were originally a member here before you joined the team.
Absolutely. And I tested a few of the providers out, and what kept me with Coach Talk was exactly that philosophy. I'm definitely not I don't play 150 a night. I don't play $1,000 a night. But I'm into it. And I love learning about, the players and getting those like little insights that help you get an edge. And I think that's what we do really well here. And I think we should, everyone who's on the chat right now, give us your feedback, definitely give us your feedback here in Discord, share with us what you like, what you don't like. We're always up for hearing from our members and hearing what's working for them. And particularly as we're tweaking things. So, but I think we've landed in a good spot, and we're fired up, particularly with football coming around the corner. That's going to be big.
It is going to be terrific. All right. Great news is great weather today. No worries there, Deb. So that's one thing that we don't have to stress. Don't see any delays, cancellations, nothing like that. So it's always fun to not have to stress about that. There's no question about it. All right. Let's take a look at these early 6 games real quick. Just give everybody an opinion. I know some people are probably making lineups now or getting ready for that. I believe one of the early slates locks in about 25 minutes. So let's just buzz through these early 6 games, give the game set in case anybody's playing those. The first one is 2:05. It's the Astros at the Rangers under the dome there in Texas. 7.5's that total, 4.02 implied for the Astros, 3.48 for the Rangers. Christian Javier, 10K versus Martin Perez at 8.6K, the lefty against the Astros. Any lean in this one for you, Deb?
Obviously I'm not too focused on this game, given the timing of it, but Javier had a dud last time. So
yes, he did.
We'll see if he can pull back. He's been pretty consistent. Whereas Perez, given that he doesn't really have a lot of good stuff, he just seems to keep doing it. But if anyone's playing this game, check out Cole Calhoun's stats against Javier. He just lights the guy on fire. So, someone to check out.
He is, and he's batting 5th in that lineup today, so that's a good play there. No Yordan Alvarez again for the Astros, so that stings a little bit, but certainly you can stack up top Altuve, Pena, Bregman, and not break the bank. So I would say some Astros bats for sure there.
I like Tucker and Mancini as well.
Do you? Okay.
So you could go all the way. Yeah, you could go all the way up to number 5 on that side.
I don't trust Perez whatsoever, no doubt about it. 2:10, Martin. We've got the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Milwaukee Brewers. Crash is at that game. They cut that whole set against the Pirates, so hopefully Crash is listening in as getting ready. Have probably eaten that 4th hot dog and 4th beer, I would say, about now. But it is in Milwaukee. I think the roof will be open, so a few extra runs there. According to Crash, it is open. 8.5's the total. 3.07 for the Pirates, 5.43 for the Brewers. So they've been stinging some people with some of the stacks, but a good number again today. Zach Thompson, 5K versus Freddie Peralta, 8.2K. Brewers stack again for you to Deb on the early slate?
And not so much. They didn't do it for me yesterday. I kind of fell short. Adames really let me down. I think there's some pop in that lineup. Watch, Adames is going to do it today because that's what always happens to me. I pick a guy and the next day they come through. Yeah. So I'm not stacking them. I do like Peralta in this matchup. I think he posts a good game. He's definitely a pitcher that I'd eye in the early lineups, but I'm staying away from the stack. But I probably would have some Adames and maybe some Yelich.
Well, the good news is Roundy's back in after tweaking his knee the other day. So, and I can't keep calling him Roundy because he still let me down. But if I do sneak an early slate in there, I'll probably have Mr. Tellez in that group.
Okay.
Next one, 3:45, San Diego Padres, San Francisco Giants. And it is only about 58 degrees in San Fran. How about that? 12-mile-an-hour breeze blowing out to left, so nice and chilly, good pitching weather. 7.5 total, 4.10 for the Padres, 3.40 implied for the Giants. I call him junk ball Joe Musgrove after he junk balled my lineup the last time he pitched. So, he's on my dead to me list right now. So junk ball Joe Musgrove at 9K against the lefty Alex Wood, 7.5K. What's your take here?
Yeah, Musgrove has been really unreliable lately. He was so spot on the first half of the season, and I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole at this point. Actually, San Fran's hit him pretty well, so I'm buying some cheap San Fran bats in this one. Starting with the top of the order with La Stella and Wade, and I like Peterson and Crawford as well. Peterson, if we were playing the early slate, would have been my BVP call.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jock.
He's had 2 home runs and has had 6 out of 18 against him. So he seems to have Musgrove's number.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, in pitching spot, I don't really like either pitcher, and I'm not too crazy about the hitter. So if you're playing early slate, for me at least, this would not be a game I'd have a ton of interest. Certainly, you can always play a few one-off Padres. They're always capable of striking, no doubt about it. And then we've got 3 more games in that 6 o'clock hour, 6:10. So I'll probably play this little 3-gamer here where it's available, because there's a 6:10 and 2 6:40s. They really spread the games out today, Deb.
Yeah.
Very weird. So 6:10, it's Baltimore at Cleveland. 81 warm degrees in Cleveland. Breeze, well, more than a breeze, a little bit of a wind blowing out to right at 12 miles an hour. Totals 8, 3.45 implied for Baltimore, 4.55 for the Guardians. Jordan Lyles, 7.3K against Tristan McKenzie, 10.2K for the young fireballer there. So interesting matchup here, and 2 teams fighting for playoff spot. You going to have any exposure to this one for the early 6-ish slate?
I didn't look at the 6-ish slate too much, so I'm not going to give away too many comments here. So I take it away on your side there, Coach.
Oh, okay, no problem. I think McKenzie's been on with the fastball and spotting it really well. He's really maturing. I think he's a decent play on that slate of the 6 pitchers that are in that 6 o'clock hour. He's probably the guy I'd go to. I do respect Baltimore's bats, though, no question, and they can throw some tough lefties, Mullins, and then I usually always play Rutschman when he gets to bat lefty because he's got so much enormous power. So he'd be the one-off I'd go against McKenzie with, and then Santander even as a switch hitter in the 3-hole. So not an easy chore for McKenzie, but I think he's been very tough with the Ks, and Ks are king in DFS. Middle of that Guardians order against Lyles, certainly Ramirez, when he's hitting from the left side as a switch hitter, that's where he has more power. Probably my favorite player in baseball, or close to it. At 6K makes a little bit rough, but Naylor at 3.8 right behind him. Jimenez 5.6. So I like a little mini stack there for Cleveland for sure. All right, the 6:40 game, the first of the 2 is the St. Louis Cardinals and Cincinnati Reds. It's in Cincinnati, 79 degrees, slight breeze out to left. 9.5 is the Vegas total, so expecting some runs here. 5.80 for the Cardinals, big number there. 3.70 for the Reds. The lefty Jose Quintana, 7.7K against fellow lefty Mike Minor at 5.5K. So again, you've got, Quintana, a little more respect there for him. He's pitched okay, as people seem to do when they join the Cardinals, but still a few bats there for the Reds in that little ballpark that could get to him. So if you want to go cheap, Solano really came through for me the other day. I think at 3.3 batting cleanup, that he's very dangerous. But, man, they have a lot of strikeouts at the bottom of that lineup. Lopez, Fairchild, Aquino, Barrero, and Robinson. So Quintana in play as far as I'm concerned. And then the Cardinals stack. Everybody stacks the Cardinals, and rightfully so. They're going against a lefty. You may have heard of a few of these right-handed power bats, like Goldschmidt and Arenado. So it's going to be, pretty much.
Yeah, that could be ugly. That's going to be chalk city. I mean, Minor, I don't know. Minor just, I don't know. He shouldn't be in the league at this point. He is just not good. And St. Louis kills him.
They do. And
yeah,
I think O'Neill's could homer off of him. Pujols. Yeah. They have so much power. How about Albert Pujols all of a sudden?
I know.
What is going on?
The home run king.
Did he sell his soul to the devil here late in life, or is he taking some secret juice?
I think there might be some juice going on to end his career.
Something sweetening the pot there. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to this last one because I want to focus on the main slate. 6:40, Tampa Bay Rays, Miami Marlins in the Dome in Miami. 7's the total. 4 for the Rays, 3 for the Marlins. Drew Rasmussen, who I really like, He would be my top play on that little mini slate for pitching at $9K. Trevor Rogers, the lefty, $6.3K. So again, for me, it would be Tampa, a couple of one-offs for Tampa, and Drew Rasmussen for sure.
With you there. Yep.
All right, let's take a look real quick. Oh, Josh is in there. All right, man. Right live from the Tellez's 0 for 8 against Thompson might be due. All right, we'll see. Joe K, what's up, man? I think Joe K joined. I sent you a link, Joe K, to be in Discord. Hopefully you got that. We want to see you in there for sure. Let's see. DeSavino Fitness. That's the first time I've seen you in there, man. Welcome to the family. Great to have you in there. Exactly, Crash. How many beers so far? He's doing the cup stacking thing. Have you ever seen him doing that? Yeah. Yep. Let's see what DeSavino's saying. Cole could be very well get shelled. Interesting. Well, we're going to get into that for sure. There certainly has been a lot of chalk expensive pitchers that have been shelled lately. So that nothing surprises me anymore. All right. Appreciate everybody being in here. We got a nice group today. All right, we're going to get into this. Before we dive into the main slate, we're going to fire through these 9 games, focus on our pay up, BVP, HR calls. We'll give you our stacks, the whole 9 yards. If you're on YouTube right now, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and the little alert in the upper corner. That means a ton to us. That helps us grow, beat the algorithm here on YouTube, and we really do appreciate that. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet, let some other people know so they can jump on and catch us here live on Twitter. And then if you're on TikTok, you can check us out there, DFS Coach Talk. I'm personally just Coach Talk, and we've got a lot of stuff going there. We're going to have some giveaways on TikTok as well with Boom Fantasy. They have a big group following them on TikTok. So all kinds of social media stuff going on, and we'd love to have you join. Anytime you can like us, retweet us. We appreciate it. Today is also the last day for our audio podcast listeners to win a free month of DFS Coach Talk. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen, give us a quick 5-star rating and a quick comment. What I'll do here at the end of today is I'll go through there, put the randomizer on it, and one of those people are going to win a free 1-month membership to Coach Talk. We'll announce it on Twitter. So at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter, keep an eye there. We'll be posting that winner this evening. And then keep an eye on all of our social media. I'll be working with our man Brett tonight, and we're going to be putting up all of the Boom Fantasy information, the giveaways, and tomorrow's the first giveaway in our right here on the podcast. So you want to check that out for sure. All right, no further ado, Deb. We got to get down to business here. We want to follow up. Last night, massive night. 2K plus night here. And just we want to follow it up with another winner. I know a lot of people always say, I have a massive takedown night and I can never follow it up the next night with a winner. And it's like it gets in your head. But you know what? Yeah. We're going to break that today.
Let's do it. Play the scene. Let's get it done.
Okay, here we go. Game number 1 on the main slate, 7:05, Oakland A's at the Washington Nationals. It's 80 degrees in Washington at first pitch, 8 miles an hour left to right, 8.5 total in Vegas, split right down the middle, 4.25 implied for both sides. James Caprillion, 6.7K versus Anibal Sanchez. He's 5.5K. And I saw somebody in chat saying they liked Cappy today. Do you like Cappy, Deb?
I do not. I don't have the guts. I mean, King of Smack's got a lot of guts to go with Cappy today. I mean, I get that Washington's offense is terrible, but he's been bad. And I think this is actually, I mean, two of the worst teams in baseball, pitching and hitting wise, but I think the hitters take over in this one. And I wouldn't mind having a few Oakland players who are just so cheap in my lineup, actually, because Anibal Sanchez, you know what, he was injured last year or maybe retired. I don't know. I mean, the guy's pitched forever. And came back this year. There's no way he should have come back. I mean, I think you could go out there and pitch better than he could, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I have 2 pitches. They'd have to take me off on a stretcher. I'd blow out something. There's no doubt about it. But no, I'm with you. This is not a pretty one to me. I get both of these teams cannot hit, but Oakland hits a little better when they get out of that terrible stadium there that they're in. That it's so hard. Shout out to Derek, too, if he's listening. We were chatting a bit on Twitter about the A's and their front office and what a disaster they are with just not, keeping any good players. But anyway, they, sometimes they get out of there and they can hit a little bit. And Sanchez certainly is a hittable commodity. So if you want to go cheap, and I'm personally going to need a few one-off cheapies today, Kemp's 2.6, Langoliers at 3.4, Murphy at 4.2, Brown at 3.2, Pinder at the min 2K. I wouldn't mind one or two A's somehow today, which is not really a fun thing to verbalize.
I know, exactly. But they're going to help you, kind of fill in where you need to. I agree.
And even a one-off for Washington, because I don't believe Caprillian's very good either. Voit has been pretty decent lately, showing some power. You could. And
how about Meneses? He's going
to be a nice young player, but he's up to 4.3 now. So you don't get that steal price on him. He was good for us when we were grabbing him at 2.4 and 2.5. But maybe a one-off on each side, but certainly not a game to focus on as far as I'm concerned.
Coach, I got this fly attacking me here, so I'm I'm not going crazy.
I love it. That's you're swatting away these bad plays. That's
exactly.
all. We know what you're doing.
That's right.
All right, I'll move on to the next game as you get out the firing squad there for the fly. It is at 7:07, Chicago Cubs at Toronto Blue Jays. And this is an interesting game. Will Ferrell, the comedian, with the dart in his neck, he's pitching. No, it's Luke Ferrell. And he's only 4.9K pitching for the Cubs against Mitch White for the Blue Jays. 9.5 Vegas total, 3.71 implied for the Cubs. Big fat 5.79 implied for the Blue Jays. Now, somebody mentioned it yesterday, and it's true. The Blue Jays can sting you right in the backside as a stack. But, man, here's another one that looks like a great day to stack the Blue Jays. Are you aboard?
I am on board with this one. I mean, I think they're, predicting a high-scoring game, a lot of that coming from the Toronto side. They've had limited exposure to Ferrell, but in that limited exposure, they hit him pretty well. I don't think he's got too much. So I do like a little mini stack. I'll tell you what's going to be tough today is seems like every one of the players that I like today is in that catcher first baseman position, and you can only you can only play 2, because you can use one in the utility. But I've got about 4 or 5 that I like. So, but yeah, I like Guerrero, Gurriel, Hernandez, and Bichette here for Toronto.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we might as well just address the elephant in the room right away here is the strategy today is going to be everything because we've got a couple of pay-up pitchers that are so hard to get away from. And then we have some phenomenal stacks like this Blue Jays one that are really hard to get away from. So let me throw a few numbers by you and let me get your feedback here because as we dig into this slate, we don't just this is another thing at Coach Chuck because it drives me nuts when I listen to some other stuff. We're not going to go through every game and give you, the 2 best pitchers, put Degrom and Cole in every lineup and play the Toronto stack and play the Yankees stack. I mean, you can't do all that. It's not reasonable. And I'm not going to recommend it because you can't do it. So we got to figure out which way we're going to go with this. So Deb and I will share a little bit of our build strategy today, but let's start that off by talking about the stack percentages, as far as success rate, top stacks. And that's the group at the top right now are Philly, Toronto, Seattle, Atlanta, and the White Sox. And then from an ownership share, it's looking like people are going to go White Sox, Atlanta, Oakland, Detroit, Washington. So I think Toronto's moving up a little bit too in that group. And that's on DraftKings. Let's get a snapshot of that on Fanduel, because I think these things are important. Right now, as far as successful top stack at 12.5, Toronto, and then Philly, Atlanta, Seattle, White Sox again. So, we're looking at the situation there of what could be most successful. And then ownership, a lot of people going to the White Sox, Blue Jays now climbing up. It keeps getting higher as the morning's going on and afternoon. Seattle getting a lot of play against Tyler Alexander. Atlanta again against Feltner. So that's on FanDuel. And we're also going to give you the quick snapshot on Yahoo as well. Toronto's now into first above Philly, because Toronto and Philly getting a lot of that play. Atlanta consistent on everyone, as well as Seattle and the White Sox. So it's a very similar theme on a lot of these. And as far as the ownership right now, Toronto's taking a pretty good lead on Yahoo because they're more affordable there. Yahoo has some of the Toronto guys grossly underpriced, like Bichette, etc. So you can take advantage of that. But Seattle's still getting a lot of play there. Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Arizona. All right. So I don't want to overwhelm you here, Deb, but let's go for, because the conversations go together. You're either going up on pitching, you're splitting your pitching. I don't know anybody that's going down for both pitchers today because it's just too difficult to do that. But it affects the statistical look at this compared to what you're doing with your stack ownership. So we're going to go to DraftKings first. Right now, we're saying over 50% of the lineups are going to have Degrom, 47% Cole. And did you happen to notice here Lance Lynn got scratched?
Oh, no, I didn't even see that.
I saw Lance Lynn. Can somebody confirm that in
check that and see?
Because what I saw something come right as before we went on, I saw personal reasons Lynn scratched. And that's big because a lot of people were going to utilize him for SP2. So anybody can anybody confirm that for me?
Did they say who's they say who's replacing him?
That I do not know yet. So this is all happening as we're going.
Real time. Let's see what we got here.
So I'll keep going through those. Yeah. And then let's see if anybody can confirm or deny that information for me. All right, I'm going to go back to so Degrom, Cole dominating ownership. Wright is really coming in next, and Joe Ryan's getting a little bit. But there's really very few people getting much ownership after those top two guys. So, how chalky are putting both of them in there.
With good reason, I think. I think this is definitely a tale of two types of pitchers today. I think you really have you've got some incredibly elite, but very few second tier pitchers after that. So I'm definitely going to have one of the top tier. I can't see fading them both. I think each of them have a chance for 50 plus. And, don't want to be away from that. The key question is, do you go with Degrom or do you go with Cole?
On FanDuel, you can only take one of them, and that makes it even tougher. Right now, we're looking at Cole, actually, with the advantage here. Maybe people want to save the $900 because on FanDuel, Cole's 11-1, Degrom's 12K flat. Cole at 31.2%, Degrom 24.1%. And then it falls off the ledge. So almost everybody you face is going to have one of those two guys, more than likely. Yeah. And then on Yahoo, it's Degrom with the edge, 45% to Cole's 40%. Kyle Wright, not too far behind at 30%. Joe Ryan, and actually Mitch White is 10% there because he's so cheap.
His price.
Right.
Yeah. So we've got
Lynn
confirmation that Lynn, yeah, exactly. Lynn's expected to start. Okay.
Okay. So if that remains, then that's your key component, because right now in the ownership tool, Lynn is getting a lot of SP2 play. So here's my question to you now that we went through all of that. So, and we'll go through the rest of these games. Are you going up to both Cole and Degrom? Are you going to have one or the other on DraftKings and Yahoo? Or are you going to try to go down from there and stick with the big stack guys like the Phillies and Atlantas and Torontos? What's your strategy on your initial build?
Yeah, my strategy today is to go with one of them. But for DK, not both of them. It's just too much money spent on pitching. And there's a number of hitters that I want to get to. So I'm liking the combination of pay up for one and then go with more of a value pitcher for a second. But it's a limited pool of value pitchers to choose from.
It is. Sure. And for me, it's going to be per site, Deb. I messed with it multiple times. And here's the thing. Jacob Degrom is pitching like, you don't see somebody pitch like that. Did you see his strikeout percentages?
Oh, unbelievable.
Like he's 44 to 46%. And just
he's my favorite guy.
Oh, look, you swatting this fly.
I'm swatting. It's driving me nuts.
This is hilarious.
I'm getting attacked.
So I mean, it's just he's pitching at such a level. It's insane. I don't know. I know it's against the Dodgers. So that's the big question. What is that saying? The immovable force versus how does that go? What's that saying?
I don't know. I'm not sure I did so well in physics.
But the bottom line is you've got the Dodgers. So if there's anybody that can hit him, you would think it's them. But Degrom, man, oh man, I have a hard time at a fair price fading him. I don't think 11.5 is enough for him on DraftKings personally. And, FanDuel at 12K, you can still get away with it. He is 60 on Yahoo, which makes it tough. But Here's the deal, Deb. What I'm looking at on DraftKings right now, if you play Degrom and Cole, that gives you $3,462 per person for the rest of your lineup. I can make that work. Make that work because there's a couple of 2K guys in there hitting in the middle of some orders, batting orders, that gets up to about 3.7. I think I can make that work. So I may go up to both in that spot. But on FanDuel, obviously you're only taking one. So our strategy will be different there. And on Yahoo, it makes it even tougher because at 60, I probably am not going to play Degrom there, as painful as that is. So different strategies for every contest and every site. And that's why, we're going to continue to go through these, but we wanted to share those numbers anyway.
No, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
So let's see. That's the Cubs and Toronto we went over. So let's see. Seattle and Detroit. Is that where we are?
Yep.
Okay. It's the Mariners, Tigers. 8.5's the total, 77 degrees in Detroit, wind blowing out to left 12 miles an hour, 4.73 implied for the Mariners, 3.77 for the Tigers. Marco Gonzalez, the lefty, takes the bump for the Mariners, 7.3K. Tyler Anderson, fellow lefty, also takes the bump this for the Tigers at 5.3K. Not great pitching here. Any hitters that interest you? Seattle's getting a lot of interest in the stack area.
Seattle is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Seattle, I mean, let's see here. What I had
because I've noticed they're gaining a little momentum stack wise. Let's see here. Yeah, they're second right now on DraftKings stack wise.
Yeah, well, I mean, Alexander's definitely hittable, especially righties. So, I sort of like a couple of guys more in the middle, a couple of the less expensive bats on Seattle, like staying away from a Rodriguez and a France, but I sort of like Haniger, Suarez, and Santana there.
Okay.
So a few guys definitely to play around with. Again, if you're looking to do some of the more expensive stacks, this is a way to get some less expensive options in. Seattle's
Yeah.
not a bad play. I mean, Seattle, where are they right now in sort of in the stack rankings?
Second on DraftKings. So they're popular. The thing is, though, for me, the top four, Rodriguez 6'2", France 4'5", Haniger 5'1", Suarez 5'3". I don't think I can get there money-wise. Yeah. But I do like the Seattle stack. Where I may grab some is 5 through 9. You know, you got all $2,000 and $3,000 guys, Santana's, Toros, Raleighs, Haggertys, and Crawfords. Now, they're nothing to jump out of your seat about, but if you really think, you know, Seattle's the play and they're going to score a lot of runs, they're going to get maybe an extra at bat down towards the bottom and could be good. As far as Detroit, not that I think Marco Gonzalez is any good, but I just not interested in that Detroit lineup. It's just looking really haggard lately. Eric Haas came through for me in a big way, but he's 3.3, possibly an interest there though.
And what's the rule of thumb on Detroit? They're terrible against?
They're the worst hitting team average-wise against righties. Not that they're that good against lefties.
Gonzalez is a lefty, though, so that is, you know, that does make a little bit of a difference. Yeah. And again, I mean, you're looking at some really inexpensive bats if you want to. I think Haas has definitely come through in a couple of cases. You know, got old man Cabrera there. So a couple of inexpensive ones. It's interesting. I mean, going through it, it's, you know, certainly there's some inexpensive bats, to your point, Coach, you know, looking at both of the top end pitchers on DK is a safer bet because you have some pretty weak pitching. So some of the cheap bats could actually do some things.
Possibly. It's still tough. Even like a Victor Reyes batting second at 2.3K, you still have to hold your nose when you hold
your breath.
So it's not easy. All right, here's the feature game. 7:10 Dodgers Mets. It is 81 degrees in New York. Breeze blowing out to right center at 11 miles an hour. Only 6.5 number in Vegas. Very expected with Degrom pitching. 2.88 implied for the Dodgers. Probably their lowest implied total of the season. I'm almost positive. And 3.62 for the Mets. The lefty Tyler Anderson, 8.3K, gets to take on the god of pitching, Jacob Degrom, 11.5K. Not expensive enough for as strong as he's been, but it's the Dodgers and their all-star lineup, you know?
Well, I'm going to watch the Mets win this game and not play any DFS on it. That's my approach.
You're a Mets fan, so I know that.
I'm a Mets fan. That's going to be I'm going to be excited to watch this game. I'm sitting back from a DFS standpoint.
I mean, I'll have Degrom most areas, 46% strikeout rate, some insanity that's just inhuman. Yes, Dodgers have a ton of great hitters, but they have some strikeouts in there. You can expect JT or Gallo or Bellinger. Those guys strike out with some of the best of them at times. So I'm still thinking Degrom does his thing, and just, it's hard to build without him. It really is.
Agreed. Yeah. No, I meant from the hitting side. I'm sitting this one out. I'm definitely using Degrom. Yep.
How about Mets? They could be a sneaky couple guys in there against Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, Anderson's, Anderson's kind of one of their weaker pitchers. There's definitely a few guys that hit against him. It could be fairly low owned, given the low total of the game. Definitely had a couple of guys. I think Escobar's hit him well. Nemo has hit him particularly well. So could definitely look at a couple of guys in there. But the Mets bats are pricey. I struggle with Nemo because seems like every time I play him is when he doesn't hit, and then when I don't play him, he does. But he's he's probably the fifth best bat on the team, but he's pretty pricey. So. Yeah,
that's the bottom line is if you're playing DeGrom, Marte 5'8", Lindor 5'7", Alonso 5'4". I mean, you can't play any of those guys really.
Yeah.
So, and plus, it's like I've said before, they never seem to hit a bunch for Degrom. That mental.
Oh my God, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it last week. Or Crash and I did. It's like I've been there. I've seen it. Like guys think, okay, all we need is 1 or 2 runs. We got this game because we got our ace on the mound, and they let up and they just don't hit.
So painful. Yeah, painful to watch as a fan.
It really is. All right, Colorado Rockies, Atlanta Braves at 7:20. Another high interest game here. 85 warm ones in Atlanta. Wind blowing out to center, 5 to 7 miles an hour. Only 8 is the total, so respectable total considering. Only 2.71 for Colorado. A part of an indictment on how bad they are and that they respect Kyle Wright in Vegas. 5.29 though for the chalk stacking Braves. I think they're going to get a lot more stacking as the day goes on, because you got Ryan Feltner at 5.8K for the Rockies, Kyle Wright 9.8K for the Braves. Any lean in this one?
Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't get any chalkier. I really like Atlanta as a stack here. The setup is perfect, with the warm weather, against a weak pitcher. They've hit against him in the past. The only question mark I have is Acuna going to be back tonight or not? I know he was injured, but you could stack, up and down this lineup. If you want to get a little less expensive, you could head towards the bottom, but I like the, Acuna, Swanson, Riley, Olsen, Darno. I mean, they're just, they're gonna murder it tonight against this guy. So I think I'm going to definitely be eyeing that as a key stack for me.
Yeah, and a lot of it will have to do, like you say, if Acuna's back or not. In the lineup I'm looking at right now, he's not projected in there, and it does change things around. Harris, probably will bat second behind Swanson if Acuna's out. So that, you can look at some of those guys in the middle of the lineup, but they are pretty pricey. Again, it's that big tough one today. You got the real expensive pitchers and the real expensive stacks. They all look great, but you unfortunately you can't go both directions. I mean, I guess
I think on FanDuel it's easier, right?
There is a world where you could go down and take 2 cheaper pitchers and go with all the big stacks. I mean, if you have the guts.
That's not where I'm going. That's not where I'm going today.
It's just too tough to do that.
No, but on FanDuel with just the one pitcher, it's doable. Again, because you got some of the cheap bats, you can surround an Atlanta stack or a Toronto stack with some of the cheaper bats. I think.
And I'll tell you, if it wasn't Degrom and Cole in this thing today, I'd be all over Kyle Wright, because he's going against this crappy Colorado team. We know they absolutely suck out of Coors Field. And Wright's 98, 10-8, and 44. So he's priced right, but no pun intended, WRIGHT. But he's, they've won 8 of his last 10 starts. And he's got a really fantastic record. They hit for him, and he has pitched well. So he's the odd man out for me, but on different slate, I'd be on him.
Yeah. All right. I think we have to speed things up here, Coach. Our
7:40. Boston Red Sox, Minnesota Twins. The total's 8. It's 81 degrees in Minnesota. Slight breeze left to right. 3.83 implied for Boston. 4.17 for the Twins. Michael Walka, 8.7K versus Joe Ryan, 8.5K. I'll just say real quickly here, Michael Walka is my quote-unquote value pitcher. And again, I say that in terms of what is the value pitcher? Well, it depends on in relation to the slate. We had this conversation a little bit on YouTube the other day. So he's 8.7, 9.4, and 42. So 9.4 is not that cheap. The other two I'd consider very value-ish. Minnesota's not hitting well since Buxton's been out. Walka's sneaky. I think if you're going SP1 and 2 and choosing between Degrom and Cole, I do not think Walka's a bad second choice.
I like it. My value is Joe Ryan. Opposite side of it. He's 2.69 ERA and a 0.99 whip at home. Faced Boston back in April and 6 innings, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. He's 8,500 on DK, 9K on FanDuel. So he's going to be my SP2. I do like your Walka pick. I think
Okay.
I think this game, I'm calling this game as an under. I think the pitching is going to be good and the hitting's not so much. And so I think this is the game where you get your value pitcher.
Outstanding. How you doing, MB, and anybody else that's joined in? Great to see everybody in here. Sean V, how are you, my man? Good to see you guys. You can certainly get some good pitching and get tons of leverage. I mean, if you go away from Degrom and Cole, you're going to have leverage on everybody. So the question is, can you survive them not crushing the slate? So that's the key. All right, we go to the, let's see here. Where are we? We are at the Royals and White Sox. Bubic versus Lynn if Lynn's pitching. That's the big dilemma. Did somebody confirm that in or out? He was on the bereavement list. So let's.
He's off. I think he's pitching.
Okay, so we'll just determine that as we go. We'll update everybody on Twitter and in our Discord. Bubic at 6'2", Lynn at 8K, 82 degrees in Chicago, wind blowing out to left, 8 miles an hour, 8.5 that total, 3.5 for the Royals, 5 for the White Sox. Again, White Sox, very popular stack, it looks like today. Are you jumping on some of these mid-level priced White Sox?
Yeah, I'm the only guy I really liked was Grandal. I don't know if he's playing though. He was on the IR. He's supposed to be reinstated today. I do like him a lot. I actually I have him as my BVP if he's in.
Nice.
So he's 4 for 10 against Bubic with 4 walks and a home run.
Wow.
I think it's just a sneaky little guy to put in there as a BVP, pretty inexpensive. But again, just have to confirm that he's actually playing today. I'm not going to stack the White Sox. I'm looking at more like a one-off, like I said, with Grandal. I just think I think they're too popular, too chalky, and they're not very consistent on their hitting. Bubic is a great pitcher to hit against, but I'm not convinced.
Yeah, and Bubic has been up and down. He'll throw in a decent game from time to time. You can go cheaper though with a Pollock, or Vaughn's not badly priced. If Grandal is in, he's in the projected that I have, batting 5th. So those kind of guys wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't mind having some exposure there. Depending on for sure who that White Sox pitcher is, will determine on whether I have any interest for the Royals. Salvador Perez, big hero for me last night. But, the top of that lineup's tough. And I'll tell you right now, a guy to circle, and it's not just because he homered, but Nick Pratto, man, he's a lefty hitter, a youngster for KC, and I have him projected 4th in the lineup today at 2K. So if that's the case, there's one of the guys that makes the 2 buy-up pitchers work. So Michael Taylor's super cheap, Mike Massey's super cheap. So I like some of these Royals, low owned and cheap.
Perez is going to go. I think he's hit back-to-back, so 3 in a row tonight.
He's been unbelievable. He really has, and he's getting up there too. All right, we have 2 games left, Deb. 2-game late slate if you're playing the after hours, and they're 2 interesting ones for sure with a lot of ownership in these 2 games. It's the New York Yankees against the Los Angeles Angels. It's in LA. 7.5 is the total. 4.36 implied for New York, 3.14 for the Angels. Should be good weather, warm in LA tonight. And you've got, of course, Garrett Cole, 10.8K versus another guy that's pitched his tail off this year, lefty Patrick Sandoval at 9.3K going against that right-handed power hitting Yankees lineup. So what's the call here? Low-owned Yankees sort of so far, looks like.
Yeah, interestingly, it's funny to see the Yankees low owned.
It is.
It's just they're so damn expensive. But Sandoval is actually my fade pitcher tonight. I just think against the Yankees, he's super expensive. I mean, you're talking less, only $900 less on Fanduel versus Cole.
Right.
He's been inconsistent. He's actually. I believe he's only had 135 fantasy point start in his last 7. If I have that correct.
He's not a huge strikeout guy.
Yeah, so he's my fade. Will the Yankees dominate him? I don't think so. I think he's got good enough stuff. So I'm probably not going to stack the Yankees or anything like that. My play on the Yankees, honestly, is because I know we went in on Stanton last night. It was last night we went in, right? And he did nothing for us, right?
No.
And I'm always a day early. So I'm going back to Stanton. I think he's due for a home run. It's been I think his third or fourth game back. He hasn't had one yet. He averages a home run every 11 or 12 at bats. So I'm looking for him to hit a home run tonight. So he'll be my one-off.
I'll tell you, if he homers last night, I mean, we had a phenomenal night, a 2K night. We would have taken down everything on the earth if either he or Machado homers. To have those two guys sitting there knowing you're in the top 5 or 8 already, and you just need some. And I'll tell you what, here's the problem. Stanton, to me, looked terrible. If you watched him last night, his swings, honest to God, the ball was in the catcher's mitt twice when he swung. I'm not kidding you. He looked like an old man swinging. I don't know what the deal is. His timing's off. He looked bad. So he's a complete fade for me. It was painful to watch. He chucked one up the middle that barely got through for a hit. So he didn't go over, but I just did not like the way he looked. Now, it's Stanton. If he touches the ball, it can go 500 feet. So I don't blame you for playing him. I'm not going to go there. I do like some of the Yankees bats, but again, what can you afford? A few spots. And I'm not going to stack against Sandoval. I respect him enough. I'm not going to play him as a pitcher because I don't think he's going to strike out enough, although the Yankees do strike out quite a bit. I just think that, that's a tough place to go. But I will like some exposure to some of the Yankees. And then Cole, I mean, he's in a perfect spot. I mean, it's against the Angels. The Angels are second in the league against righties and strikeouts. I mean, if they need this game, they haven't won a ton of games lately, like they've lost like 3 out of 5 and 6 out of 10 or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, I think Cole steps up. If he gets by Trout and Ohtani, you got some good outs in that lineup. My man, Mike Ford, I played him 2 nights ago and I didn't play him yesterday.
I know.
He homered again.
He does it again. I know.
I couldn't believe it.
I know. Seriously.
And he's 2K. He's 2K again.
Yep.
But there's so many strikeouts with Adele and Stassi and Velasquez and stuff at the bottom of that lineup. Cole's going to be in every lineup that I have. He's just a lock and load for me today, flat out. So I will not have any Angels exposure at all. All right.
You.
Last game, Philadelphia Phillies, Arizona Diamondbacks in your neck of the woods there.
Yeah.
Is the dome going to be open or closed? What's the scoop there?
It's going to be closed. It's
too hot.
It is hot. Yeah. It's still hot.
Yeah. And so it's 9.5 total. So a lot of runs here just because of these two pitchers, though. It's 5.04 implied for the Phillies, real popular stack tonight. And then a 4.46 for the Diamondbacks. Bailey Falter, the lefty, 7.1K against Tommy Henry, the lefty at 7.5K. Two guys, little shaky, a lot of exposure hitting here.
Not at all.
No,
I'm totally staying away from this game. I know it's like the highest total on the slate, but I actually think these pitchers are going to do okay.
Okay.
I think both of them have actually been, solid, but not spectacular. But part of it is they're only pitching 5 or so innings, and they're not big strikeout pitchers. But I think they, Phillies offense has not been great recently. Arizona's actually has not been bad, but I think the pitching's going to do okay, and I think this game's going to be over-owned because of the total, and we can see it already with the Philadelphia stack. So, I mean, I could do a one-off or two on the Arizona side, but most likely my focus is just going to be on the other games, and I'm going to kind of fade this one.
Interesting. I like this game personally. I don't respect either one of these lefties, and I don't respect either team's bullpen. And Arizona's played good ball the last couple of weeks. They're scoring some runs. Philly just has too explosive of a lineup, I think, now that they have Harper back. Now, granted, they're expensive, so I won't be able to stack them, but I'll have some one-offs with Bohm at 4.7. And then I've got both my picks from this game. Rhys Hoskins is my home run pick. I think he goes deep today. And I like JT Realmuto as my BVP play today. So I do believe the Phillies get to Arizona here. I'm going to be trying to get one of those two guys in my lineups with my good pitchers. Try to have at least two Phillies, and wouldn't mind to come back with one of the cheaper guys on the other side for the Diamondbacks, like a Christian Walker at a fair 4.4. I do like the youngster Stone Garrett at 2.1K if he sneaks in the lineup. He did not play the other day, but another guy to keep an eye out for, and I'm sure you've heard of him there being in Arizona, is the youngster Corbin Carroll. He's probably only going to bat like 8th or somewhere in there. But boy, what a minor league season. He's going to be a superstar in this league. Now, he's a lefty. Falter's a lefty, so he might not start. But if he does, he can get the reverse splits going too and hit lefties. So keep an eye out for him as a super low-owned guy in this lineup as well.
And he's been hitting great. And I think he's only played two games, right?
Yeah, he's barely come up. But he's the real deal. I think he's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
All right. I know we're going a little long here.
Anything else? We got a great group though in the crowd. Yeah.
Boya Cali agrees with you on Falter. He's taken over 21.5 fantasy score. We know Boy from Cali's the king of PrizePicks, and hopefully the king of Boom Fantasy soon. So fantastic. All right, couple of things. Let's review some of our main slate stuff. For me, I like going up to Degrom and Cole. My value-ish SP2-ish guy is Walka. I think if you're going to go down from both guys is a good play today. I fade everybody else. Nobody else is in play for me. I'm staying away from this Lance Lynn thing because I don't know what's going on. We're going to look into that further. BVP and HR, I do like Hoskins and Realmuto today. Also, watch out for Bichette. He's 2 for 2 against that guy. He's a guy that could hit this one. For me, the stacks today, Deb, I like Philly and Toronto, even though I can't get real heavy on Philly. I'll be paying up for pitchers, finding some value, and then one-offing some of my top hitters.
Okay. For me, it's, the pay up. I'm probably leaning a little bit towards Cole, believe it or not, in the Cole versus Degrom. But I might actually, have two different lineups and one with each of them because I just don't know. It's like a toss up to me right now.
Right.
And I don't want to miss out. My value pitcher I mentioned is Joe Ryan, and my fade is Patrick Sandoval. My BVP again, if he plays, is Yasmani Grandal. Little sneaky one in there, and my home run call, I've got 2 Stanton, and I'm going back for more Salvador Perez. I played him both of the last 2 nights, and he's done amazing for me. So I'm thinking he goes for a 3rd night in a row.
He's been
unbelievable, and he's done well against Lynn.
Yeah, at this stage of his career too. That's just amazing.
I know, right? It's amazing. Yeah. My stacks are going to be Atlanta and Toronto, and I'm going to be peppering in some Oakland.
Okay, the A's. Yeah, that's a real sneaky one for sure. All right, how about we jump to our PrizePicks plays of the day? We'll give you 2 each.
Do it.
We'll put some extra ones in there for our Discord. Again, if you're watching, real quickly, thumbs up. We really need the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a little comment. Hit the alert so you know when our PrizePicks plays post and when our podcast posts so that you get all these picks. And then our Boom Fantasy, which we'll be really highlighting big time starting tomorrow. All right, your top PrizePicks play, Deb. What do you got?
Yeah, so got more than 2. What else is new, right? So all right, let me go back to it though. Let's pull off what I've already. Sorry there. Yeah. That's so right. I've got so if you're playing the early slate, I've got Drew Rasmussen at over 33.5 fantasy points.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then I also have Walka and Ryan less than half of a run allowed in the first inning. I think it's going to be a little bit of a pitching duel.
Very sneaky. I like it. I like Michael Walka over 23.5 pitcher fantasy score. I just think that that's too low, personally,
I like it too.
Yeah. I mean, I have him projected at 27.5. That's a pretty big spread, four spread. Yeah. I take that all day long. And then I'm going with Tommy Henry under 18.5 fantasy score. I don't think he goes deep enough. Sorry. I just don't think he goes deep enough.
Yeah, I was going over.
Think they're going to hit him. Oh, are you?
I was going over on him. Ooh, yeah.
We've never had one where we completely
no, the opposite, huh?
Tommy Henry in and out here, up and over and under. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we'll see. So I don't know who you want to listen to on that one, but I like runs in that game. King of Smack is all over Caprillion today. I hope you're right, man. That would be a sneaky play. Anybody else have anything? Let's see. Who's playing? MB's playing right. He likes Sheets. King of Smack's going to fade right. So we got all kinds of different looks here. Fade Degrom, Freddie Krueger homers. Bellinger homers. Wow. That's some bold calls here.
Yeah, seriously.
No doubt.
I love it.
All right, Boom Fantasy. What are your two bets today? Where do you
so I'm got this is big. I mentioned to you the Boston, Minnesota under 8.
Right.
So I think more of a pitching duel, and that's at a minus 108. And then I'm going with Tampa even money at minus 1.5.
Okay.
So, So I think that they win by more than 2, basically 2 or more.
Exactly. I'm doing the same thing.
Even money's pretty good.
I'm playing the run line for Toronto minus 1.5. Again, it's hard to play home run lines because you get screwed up with that 9th inning at bat. But I just think they smashed the Cubs here, against Will Ferrell and the blow dart in the neck. So I'll take him all day long. And then I just think, you know what? It sounds stupidly obvious, but I like Jacob Degrom today. I'd take him and the under together and just be on your way. I mean, I know you got to lay the number. It's minus 163, but that's reasonable.
That's okay.
That's okay. It's because it's against the Dodgers. Usually it's over 2-1, when DeGrom's pitching, but I'm just, I think he's that much better than all the other pitchers right now. I think he gets it done. So that is it, my friends.
Awesome.
What else do we have? Any other final questions? I think we're good. We just barely went over our hour, so that's not too shabby. There are 15 games,
there with us.
9 on the main slate. So, we had a lot to cover.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Deb. I know your leg's still healing, so keep getting better there. And next week, we're excited to see the new house there. That'll be cool.
Awesome.
And we'll be posting everything in Discord here coming up. Derek Wilson's in there. What's up, man? Great to hear. Thank you for jumping in again, and I hope your A's do turn it around at some point. If they just get new ownership would change it. New stadium, maybe they'll get it going. So it's a beautiful area there. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening in. Awesome. We had a nice solid group today. Enjoyed chatting with you, Deb. Crash is back on the scene on Friday. He's heading back to Arkansas today after this Milwaukee game. I haven't checked on it to see how that one's going, but and then I'll be solo tomorrow for the Thursday slate, and then we'll roll right into the weekend. So thank you, Deb. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you. And thanks for everyone joining the chat. It was a real lively chat today. A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. All right. Thank you, everybody. And to our presenting sponsor, Boom Fantasy. For Deb Lutz, I am Coach. We'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB DFS.